Okay, we're just gonna go from this angle. It's a really weird angle, but we're gonna do it anyway because there's nowhere else to do it, so it's fine. Hi, welcome. Most of you, if you're coming here, you're probably from my TikTok, so you might already know me, but if you don't, my name's Georgie. I read books. I was trying to do recommendations on TikTok and it kind of just got a little bit harder, and I like to talk about books, so I thought it would be easier if I just made a video where I spoke about books. Today's video is gonna be really just like generic. I'm just gonna be running through the books that I read that were quite big on TikTok, on Booktok when it began, and just telling you my thoughts on them, if I think that they're worth it or not. Just a little background information. I read pretty much everything. I don't really have a set genre. I do read a lot of fantasy, so that's where like most of my books are from, but at the moment I'm kind of reading from every genre. Let's just start. So the first book that I'm going to be talking about is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. You've probably heard a lot about this book. I had never read, I really hadn't read that many romance books before joining TikTok and joining Booktok. So this was really my first romance book, but I will just say this because a lot of people do talk about it in the sense of it being a romance book. It also has some very serious themes. It talks a lot about domestic violence, so please read the warnings before you start this book. This was also my first Colleen Hoover book that I've ever read, and I really did enjoy it. It's about, I'll just give you a quick summary, a quick synopsis if you will. Why can't I not remember this book enough to give a summary? I don't think I'll give a summary because there's kind of not really anything that you can say without giving away too much of the plot. It was a really good read. I think the writing style in some parts let me down just a little bit. That's my own personal opinion. But I did really enjoy the storyline. It was quite confronting in times. So again, check the warnings before you start reading it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. As you can see, I tabbed it. Some of these books have tabs and some of them don't. They're not an indication of how good the book was. Sometimes I had tabs near me and sometimes I didn't. I'm not very consistent, if you can tell. If you're new to reading as well, if you're just starting out romance reading, whatever, I think this is a really good book to start with because, yeah, it's really good writing, the characters are good, and it's got a good plot. So yeah. Tick in my boxes. Next we have The Six of Crows, which is a fantasy book by Leah Bardugo. I love this book a lot. Obviously, as I said before, I read a lot of fantasy. Wow, I really said unbiased opinion. This may be a little bit biased. It's basically a group of criminals, unlikely heroes, if you will, and they have to pull off a heist together to get some money, and that was a really bad summary. I'll get better at the summaries, I swear, but it's really good. It's got really great characters. Leah Bardugo sets up the story really well. Obviously, a fantasy novel has to have a good world building because it's a completely different place, and I really loved the way that she set up this world. The characters are very lovable. I highly recommend this. You'll probably have heard of The Crows, which is what the group is called, in the Shadow and Bone series. So this is a part of that series. The Shadow and Bone, I believe, are the series that you read before Six of Crows. I didn't do that, whoops. I read these ones first and I loved, this is a duology. It's Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and I absolutely loved it. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 and I gave Crooked Kingdom a 5 out of 5, which is the second book. Sorry, I'm looking over there because it's on my bookshelf over there. I really enjoyed this one. I think that out of all the fantasy ones that were on Booktok at the time, I think this was one of my favorites that I read, so I would highly recommend this. Also, I gave it to my friend and she really enjoyed it, so read it. It's really good. I swear you'll love it. It's so good. Next is one of my favorite books of all time, and you'll probably have already heard of this book because everybody has, but it's the Song of Achilles. I got it in this one because I love it so much. This is like the 10-year anniversary. Am I getting that right? The 10th anniversary special edition, which is crazy that it's been out for 10 years and it's like now, wait, I don't know if that's right. Hold on a second. Wait a damn minute. Yeah, it was out in 2012, which I think is one of the great things that, published. First published in Great Britain in 2011. Wow. I think that's one of the great things about TikTok. This book was published in 2011, and then in 2021, again, everybody started going crazy over it because Booktok. Am I right? The power of Booktok. I really, really, really loved this book. It was a 5 out of 5 read for me, and I try not to give 5 out of 5 reads too often. And I gave Crooked Kingdom a 5 out of 5. This is a Greek mythology story, a retelling of Achilles and... Now, here's the thing. I say Patroclus, but a lot of people say Patroclus, but I don't know how it can be Patroclus because there's not an extra Patroclus. There's not an O after the C, so I don't know how it can be Patroclus. I say Patroclus, but I may be wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there, so don't kill me if I say it wrong, but it follows the story of Achilles. And he's, in Greek mythology, Achilles, his right-hand man is Patroclus. And there were rumors that Achilles and Patroclus were lovers. And so this is the story of them as lovers. And it's absolutely beautiful. I love Madeline Miller's writing so my. She also wrote another book that I'm in love with called Circe. And it was incredible. And this book... It's so good. It's beautifully written. It's phenomenal. She is so good. And so again, if you're trying to get into Greek mythology, I would recommend this one. I will warn you though, once you read this book, reading other stories about Achilles, you won't feel the same way. You'll be too attached to this book to understand the other ones. But I think it's worth it. It's phenomenal. So if you're ever going to read any of these books from this video, read this one, please. And then tell me what you think. The next one is the Selection series. So this is the first one called The Selection. The storyline is kind of like a reality TV show. There's the Selection, which is a bunch of girls from each level go to like the palace and try and win the heart of the prince so that they can get married and move up a level. And I think that's it. So it's kind of like a reality TV show, but for a dystopian setting, which I think is really interesting. And I actually did really enjoy the first one. The second one kind of let me down a little bit, but I am going to push through. It's a very easy, quick read. It's just a lot of fun. It's a fun little romance novel. If you like reality TV, which, let's be real, we all do. Don't try and tell me that you don't. It's really, really good. And I would recommend it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. The next one is one of my favorite romance books ever. And again, when I tell you, I know that I haven't read a lot of romance books, but that's really because I thought that they would be boring. I was wrong. This is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Again, you've probably already heard about this book. I'm describing these so horribly, I'm so sorry. But it's a student and a professor, and there they are. It's fake dating. It's so good, it's so cute. I found myself smiling literally the entire time that I read it. I couldn't stop smiling and I felt like a real damn idiot. But it's really, really good. It's also set in she's a science student. If you like fake dating trope, or even if you don't and you think you might, I guarantee you will, because it's so good. It's so cute. So I highly recommend that one. Next is another one of my favorites, Beach Read. I read this book, I think last year, and I really, really enjoyed it. They're both writers. The girl is a hopeless romantic. The guy thinks that love isn't real. They make a bet to swap genres because one of them's a romance writer and one of them is sci-fi or something. I'm actually not sure. And they make a bet between each other because they're living next door for the summer. What more do you want? It's really, really good. Oh, I gave this one a 4.5. I don't know if I said it, but I gave this one a 4.5. I gave this a 4 out of 5. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Oh God, there's people walking. Sorry, I have a window just there and the blinds don't fully shut. So I'm always like, oh my God. He's like standing there. I always get scared because people can literally see into my room. Hi, please keep walking. Please and thank you. Good, my window's shut. Okay, they're gone. Then I read The Hating Game, which I really, really enjoyed. This is enemies to lovers. It is office romance, grumpy sunshine. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. The last one that I'm going to talk about is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Love it. Taylor Jenkins Reid is a phenomenal writer. I've read this book of hers and I've also read Malibu Rising. This follows the story of a movie icon, Evelyn Hugo, and it's basically a reporter interviewing her, and Evelyn shares her story of how she became famous, and it's like old Hollywood, how she dealt with a lot of things in her life. It's basically just tells her story, and it's really, really good. It's really well written. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. I loved the way that the storyline progressed. I love the way that it was written. I thought that it was really, really clever. The characters are very lovable. It'll break your heart, but it's really, really good. I highly recommend it. So yeah, again, if you're gonna read any of the ones in this video, this is another one to read. Okay, that's it. That's the video, no more. Also, sorry that I have this is my, I got a blood test last year for the first time, and they gave me a little certificate to say my first blood donation. So that was cute. So I just hung it on my wall. I don't know why, I thought it was cute. Anyway, so I'm sorry that there's just something random there. But that was the first video. I hope that it was okay. Sorry if it wasn't. If you hated it, I completely understand. I have a couple of ideas for ones that I want to do in the future. Let me know if you have any recommendations of videos that you would like, any books that you want me to recommend, but you should definitely go look at my TikTok because I also have some things on there and I talk about Taylor Swift and Harry Styles a lot, so if you like Taylor Swift and Harry Styles, you should definitely go check it out. But yes, please like the video, that'd be good. Subscribe, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah, more videos to come. It'll be really good, I swear. But anyway, goodbye. It's been fun.